And what I've heard a lot is the men that are committed, that are there with the women, that are quite nice and decent, they're the ones that the women often just kind of shun and snub.
I mean, I speak about relationships a lot, and I tend to find that women in these days and times say they want something, and when they get it, they don't know how to act, because it's like,
maybe so.
It's like, oh my God, I've got this now, and it's like as if it was and not even just my situation. I see it with so many men. Do you know what I mean? Like, they want this man or they want this family unit, they get it, and it's like, okay, well, I've got it now, and it's like they don't know how to act, and it's like, well, were you ready for it, and 2, did you really want it, and 3, can we even trust what you say? Because you're like, if you say you want something and you get it, and then all of a sudden you don't want it anymore, it's just like, did you want it in the first place, or did you just want it for a certain reason, for a certain feeling, for a certain amount of time? Like, what was the motivation for it? So I find modern day relationships very interesting. I'm not gonna lie. I find women of this days and times, I find them very interesting.
Interesting. Elaborate. Positively, negatively, confusing.
I made a video which was quite controversial, which went viral, called F Modern Day Women, as in F Modern Day Women. Yeah. And
that starts off, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you got to explain.
Yeah, I'll go on to explain why, because narcissism, entitled behavior, saying you want something, not knowing what you want. Like, I'm seeing it a lot, not just because I'm dating now, obviously, but just seeing it with other men. Other men are saying it and other men are feeling it. And it's like, men are confused right now. Men are like, what do women actually want? Because we don't know. And I know there's been a disconnect to some degree between men and women. They say men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Do you know what I mean? But I think it has morphed in these days and times into something so totally out of hand that a lot of men is what they call MGTOW. Have you heard of it? Men go in their own way. There's a whole movement of men saying we're going our own way. We ain't got time, because the women of nowadays are displaying behaviours that they just don't want.
Of course. So I think, again, I speak from as a woman in this modern day. So I'm a modern day woman. What am I argue? One, I think the generalisation is wrong, and when I was on the dating scene, I remember men almost expecting me to behave in a certain way, and I didn't. It was like, oh, that's really
what do you mean in a certain way?
Oh, like, I can't make the date that we had planned for dinner at 7 because I've got my son. No problem. I would send a few dates, let me know what you can make. They're like, I was expecting you to not want to see me again. I'm like, why? You've given me a valid reason why you can't see me again.
Right.
So it was. So that's an example of a man thinking that there's a behaviour that's going to come based on his inability to meet a commitment.
Right.
And they were shocked that I didn't react in this irrational manner. So the point I'm making is that, yes, there is modern women, but within that cohort, there are different women who have embarked on a journey of knowledge and education and bettering themselves as people. And I think they also get the stick because people just put them in a category.
However, I would say that what's happening is when it comes to women who in these days and times tend to have a little bit more sense in their head, right, and are speaking out, and now being called what they call pick-me's by modern day women. Have you heard the term?
Pick-me's, no.
Right, so the term pick-me, it's like the other women are saying, oh, you're just saying that because you want to be picked. You're a pick-me. And it's like, well, everyone wants to be picked. But what's happening now is within like women's circles now, women are coming to heads because there are groups of women saying, listen, we can see how you lot are going on and you lot are going on with some stupidness. You got to fix up and start acting differently. Even dating coach, there's a woman called April Mason, dating coach in America, been a dating coach for like over 10 years. You know, she quit She quit. She said, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore. And they said, why? I said, because women of nowadays, they're crazy. They don't know what they want. They say they want this. They've got all of these unrealistic expectations. She's like, as a dating coach of 10 plus years, I can't do it anymore because I can't meet women's expectations for the men that they want because they're so unrealistic. And so, you know, I go into the fact that the reason why that I find that is because the modern day feminism has told women that you can have it all. No one can have it all. You can have it all. No one can have it all. But a lot of women believe that they can have all of these things. And because I've said men know and have always known that they've got certain things that they've got to do. We've got to provide, we've got to protect. We know that as men, whether you be poor, whether you be a millionaire, you know that women are expecting that from you.
Yeah.
So then when I ask that question to women, what do you think you're supposed to do? We get some random stuff. It's like, no, that's because you're looking for a man and you expect a man to be this, but you expect a man to be a traditional man, but you don't want to be a traditional woman. And so why is it now that you get not to be a traditional woman and I get to be a traditional man? Do you know what I'm saying? So it should kind of be equal. So there's a big disconnect now between, I think, men and women.